This video is sponsored by Magellan TV. Many veterans who saw action in the Vietnam War have described military operations conducted in the A Shau Valley as hell on earth. Nevertheless, the young men of the 9th Marine Regiment and the 2nd Battalion, 12th Marines bravely penetrated this dangerous zone on January 22, 1969, as part of Operation Dewey Canyon, the last Marine Corps offensive in Vietnam. The operation was planned to wipe the North Vietnamese out of the valley. But as the Americans invaded enemy territory, the People's Army of Vietnam began to cut off platoons and immobilize them with relentless small arms fire, grenades, and mortars. For over 60 days, the Marines built more than 20 base camps to fight off the Vietnamese and captured large quantities of enemy weapons, equipment, and supplies. 5 Marines were eventually awarded the Medal of Honor for their selfless sacrifice during the conflict, proving the old adage that no matter how impossible the odds may seem, Marines always get the job done. The U.S. Marines earned their Devil Dogs nickname after having bravely fought during the first large-scale battle against the Germans in World War I. Learn more about the Battle of Belleau Wood and the American soldiers who fought it in the Magellan TV documentary The Devil Dogs, Hero Marines of World War I. In it, historian Gilles Lejeune takes us on a journey of remembrance as he walks the French woods in search of memories and takes the soldiers' stories to the forefront. Dark Docs viewers can now take advantage of an exclusive offer for new and returning members. 30% off an annual membership. Visit try.magellantv.com/darkdocs or click the link in the description below to redeem it. Magellan TV is a new type of documentary streaming service available across all your devices with over 3,000 documentaries that dive deep into diverse topics such as history, science, space, and nature. Founded by filmmakers and with new programs added on a weekly basis, Magellan TV offers premium content with no ads or interruptions. Support Dark Docs and visit try.magellantv.com/darkdocs for a 2-week free trial today. Ho Chi Minh Trail. As the Vietnam War raged on, the North Vietnamese proved to be masterful at exploiting the environment to their advantage. They knew the jungle too damn well, many American soldiers would paraphrase after their intensive combat tours. To keep their guerrilla-style units on alert, the North Vietnamese Army, or NVA, had a vast logistical network of roads and trails named in honor of Vietnamese revolutionary Ho Chi Minh. This incredibly effective trail system provided a steady flow of supplies, weapons, equipment, and food to all NVA units scattered along the countryside. The trail ran from North Vietnam through Laos, Cambodia, and southern Vietnam. The Ho Chi Minh Trail paved the way for the NVA's Tet Offensive of 1968, widely regarded by military analysts as one of the most outstanding military engineering achievements of the 20th century. After several setbacks, the American forces pushed the enemy away from South Vietnam and fortified the Vietnamese Demilitarized Zone and the McNamara Line. The latter was protected in its eastern portion by the Marines' Khe Sanh combat base. By mid-1969, U.S. intelligence reports indicated that hundreds of enemies and supply vehicles were moving through the infamous Ho Chi Minh Trail and the A Shau Valley. American officers were alarmed that the NVA was amassing troops for another major offensive. As artillery and air support were mostly ineffective when it came to the Ho Chi Minh Trail because of its thick jungle canopy, Marines and South Vietnamese troops were dispatched to neutralize the NVA supply lines. This way, the North Vietnamese would no longer be able to launch their planned offensive. Operation Dawson River South had begun. A Shau Valley. General Raymond Davis, commander of the 3rd Marine Division, was a decorated war hero. He had fought in World War II and Korea, where he was awarded the Medal of Honor for his outstanding bravery during the Battle of the Chosin Reservoir in 1950. He was also an advocate of fighting an offensive war. Davis believed that having an elite force like the Marines defending bases in static formations was against the fighting spirit of the Leathernecks. He would later say, quote, "We had something like 24 battalions up there all tied down to these fixed positions, and the situation didn't demand it. The way to get it done was to get out of these fixed positions and get mobility, to go and destroy the enemy on our terms, not sit there and absorb the shot and shell and frequent penetrations that he was able to mount." The operation was renamed Operation Dewey Canyon and was meticulously planned to follow Davis's approach. He sought to break down the enemy's supply line through the Ho Chi Minh Trail and block their access to villages near the coastal lowlands. General Davis dispatched the 9th Marines, who had been training as a mountain regiment for the last few months, to get rid of the North Vietnamese army stationed at the 34-kilometer-long valley. Commanded by Colonel Robert Barrow, the 9th Marines were the division's swing regiment for any sudden contingency. Operation Dewey Canyon was divided into 3 phases. In Phase 1, the regiment would move into the area to build fire support bases for the 2nd Battalion, 12th Marines Artillery. In Phase 2, the Marines would conduct extensive patrol operations near the bases to prepare the American units for an aggressive 3-battalion southward advance. Finally, during Phase 3, the U.S. Battalion would sweep the entire valley to disrupt the supply chain and seize their ammunition, food, and equipment depots. Air operations would be reduced to a minimum to avoid the enemy surface-to-air missiles in the area, and Huey helicopters would only be used if necessary. On January 19, 1969, the 1st Marines of the 9th opened Fire Support Base Henderson in a remote section of Kalu. For the next 2 days, the Marines would build and reoccupy forgotten bases as part of Phase 1. Enemy opposition was scarce, and Phase 2 began without substantial difficulties on January 24th. As the patrol set out to cleanse the fire bases from NVA presence, the Marines discovered a recently abandoned field hospital with large amounts of Soviet medical supplies. They knew the enemy was lurking nearby. On January 31st, the first firefights broke out while firebases Erskine and Lightning were being built. 2 days later, Firebase Cunningham was hit by 122mm artillery fire, hitting 5 Marines. Adverse weather conditions had also become a major hindrance, and Marine patrols were being attacked from all fronts. Hell had finally broken loose. Deeds, not words. Rain, mud, mosquitoes, and an enemy that had come out of the shadows to finish off the invaders tested the U.S. Marines' endurance as they made their way through the perilous A Shau Valley. On February 5th, while attempting to retreat from an ambush on Hillside 1175, Company G was pinned down by intense enemy fire and mortars. 25-year-old Lance Corporal Thomas Noonan raced to the nearest man to get him into safety, but AK-47 rounds whistled behind him as he dragged the Marine behind a rock. The young man was hit, but still got up to reach another wounded Marine. As Noonan got him back to safety, multiple 7.62mm rounds hit him. He would later receive the posthumous Medal of Honor for his actions. By February 10th, the Marines were ready to initiate Phase 3 and sweep the A Shau Valley. As 3 battalions fought their way in, U.S. convoys followed them with enough supplies to keep pushing the enemy back. On February 13th, one of the convoys was ambushed by hidden mortars and small arms fire. Lance Corporal Thomas Creek was injured while engaging the enemy. As he fell to the ground, a grenade landed near the remainder of his squad just a few feet away. Creek rolled on top of the explosive and absorbed the blast to save his comrades. He would also earn a posthumous Medal of Honor. By the end of February, the Marines were nearing the Laotian border. The operation had been reduced to a dangerous game of hide and seek. The North Vietnamese would hide during the daylight and strike in the night while still receiving supplies through the Ho Chi Minh Trail that crossed Laos. General Raymond Davis allegedly remarked during a personal conversation that, quote, "It makes me sick to sit on this hill and watch those 1,000 trucks go down those roads in Laos, hauling ammunition down south to kill Americans with." Risking a potential attack by an indiscernible enemy, Colonel Barrow ordered his men to cross the border and set up ambush positions within Laos. The command could have put Barrow's military career at risk, but he would later say, quote, "The political implications of going into Laos were pretty unimportant to me at that point." Under the command of First Lieutenant Wesley Fox, Alpha Company was instructed to attack enemy forces lurking at the border with Laos. The Marines engaged an enemy unit that kept growing in strength, and they were fatally hit by mortar and grenade fire. Lieutenant Fox was wounded by shrapnel, and he lost his radio men and all artillery observers. Still, he single-handedly coordinated the entire company with stoic calm. Fox and other survivors fought back multiple enemy waves until they finally retreated. Less than half of the company's men who joined the fight at the border remained standing, but Fox would keep pursuing the enemy until the operation ended. He was eventually awarded a Medal of Honor. The battle carried on across Laos and South Vietnam, where several patrols had already seized multiple North Vietnamese Army weapons and ammunition depots. At Tam Boi, the Marines took control of an administrative complex with more than 10 tunnels that housed hospitals, repair stations, supply rooms, and a command center. By early March, the Marines had forced the NVA to relocate deeper into Laos, isolating them from their supplies in South Vietnam. After extracting MACV SOG special operators from Laos, the 9th Marines began their retreat into the fire bases. Phase 3 had come to an end. For over 60 days, the Marines built more than 20 bases and captured more than 1,000 enemy machine guns, 2,000 rockets, 500 tons of ammunition, and 100 tons of rice. 130 young men from the 9th Marine Regiment lost their lives, with over 900 wounded. The 9th Marines were later awarded a Presidential Unit Citation for their outstanding performance during the conflict, and a total of 5 Medals of Honor were given to individual Marines. Corporal William D. Morgan and Private First Class Alfred M. Wilson were the remaining 2. Still, out of those 5, only Lieutenant Wesley Fox survived to proudly wear it and honor the brave Marines that fought in the jungles of the A Shau Valley. Semper Fidelis, Marines.